see these dark things on the horizon. I see some of them hastened by COVID, by vaccine passports, by government apps, by surveillance. Here's Harari saying, yeah, that was COVID's role.
Science is not really, at least this is my view as a historian, science is not really about truth. It's about power.
Well, I think maybe in a couple of decades when people look back, the thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital. And if this was the moment when everything became monitored, that we agreed to be surveyed all the time, not just in authoritarian regimes, but even in democracies. And maybe most importantly at all, this was the moment when surveillance started going under the skin. Because really we haven't seen anything yet. I think that the big process that's happening right now in the world is hacking human beings, the ability to hack humans, to understand deeply what's happening within you, what makes you go. And for that, the most important data is not what you read and who you meet and what you buy, it's what's happening inside your body. So we had these two big revolutions, the computer science revolution, or the infotech revolution, and the revolution in the biological sciences. And they are still separate, but they are about to merge. They are merging around, I would say, the biometric sensor. It's the thing, it's the gadget, it's the technology that converts biological data into digital data that can be analyzed by computers. And having the ability to really monitor people under the skin, this is the biggest game changer of all.
I'd say again, many of the things, his observations are factually accurate. Sometimes it's hard to decide, though, if he's just describing things he sees or promoting things he likes. But he does take strong opinions. One of his books was called Homo Deus, which means in Latin, man God. Man is a god, man becomes a god. I think he believes that because he wants to be his own God, although he thinks there's no such thing as free will. Our destiny is to be part of a computer. Listen to this.
I don't think that the question of, is very interesting or very central. It has been central in Western civilization because of some kind of basically theological mistake made thousands of years ago. But it's a misunderstanding of the human condition. We have all this still myth of free will, that everything we choose is of our own free will. And this is a myth that served us well for a couple of centuries. But now it's becoming dangerous.
Free will, Jesus, hope, belief, he calls that all fake news.
You don't have any answer in the Bible what to do when humans are no longer useful to the economy. You need completely new ideologies, completely new religions, and they are likely to emerge from Silicon Valley or from Bangalore and not from the Middle East. And they are likely to give people visions based on technology. Everything that the old religions promised, happiness and justice and even eternal life, but here on earth with the help of technology and not after death with the help of some supernatural being.
All this story about Jesus rising from the dead and being the Son of God, this is fake news.
There's something terrifying about him. And it's something he has in common with other people like Bill Gates, who says we need billions fewer people in the world.
It's an average about 5 tons for everyone on the planet. And somehow we have to make changes that will bring that down to 0. It's been constantly going up. It's only various economic changes that have even flattened it at all. So we have to go from rapidly rising to falling and falling all the way to 0. This equation has 4 factors, a little bit of multiplication. So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to 0. And that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy. So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. That's back from high school algebra. But let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, health care, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. But there we see an increase of about 1.3.
The guy who wants to depopulate the world is the guy running the vaccine industry. Oh, that's good to know. Why do these elites hate people? Maybe because they themselves believe in nothing. Gates believes he is a god. I think he really believes that. He literally wants to reshape the world in his own image. He thinks nothing of the rights of other people. I mean, remember, his own wife divorced him because he wouldn't stop meeting with the child rapist Jeffrey Epstein even after he was convicted. They met dozens of times. That was an excerpt from my daily TV-style show called The Ezra Levant Show. Each weekday, I do a monologue on the news of the day. Then I interview a fascinating guest. I read some fan mail or hate mail, depends on which I like more. And we end with a video of the day. You can get it all at rebelnewsplus.com.